Hi, so today I want to talk about some strategies for catching up on Anki cards if you're really behind, which I currently am in. So as you can see, this is a screenshot of today's things. I'm 4,000 review cards behind today, so I'm trying to get caught up on this. And I was kind of brainstorming on ways to do this, and I wanted to share it with everybody. Just if it helps you, then great. Modify however you need, because there are a lot of ways to modify this to make it work for you. But I'll give you a short solution, and if you want to keep watching after that, keep going for some details, but this is basically what I thought might work. So create permanent filtered decks that you continually rebuild and build to filter cards with smaller intervals that you've just kind of learned less than 21 days ago from the larger interval cards. So here I have some pre-made ones. So this filters all of the younger cards, and it will count my answers when I start reviewing them. So whatever I say in here will actually reschedule the card. And here are my filters. If you want to copy them exactly, go ahead. But you can rebuild and build this whenever you want. So when I say empty, it's not going to delete everything. It's just going to move them back to the original deck that they were in. So a lot of my cards are in the On King deck that I have underneath here. So when I hit rebuild, it's going to take the search criteria that I put into this deck, and it's going to use that to move cards into this other location. So notice that this has 2,300 cards in it. So when I hit rebuild, it only has 900 cards now, and then all the cards move to this filtered deck, okay? Now, that's really helpful. So then, okay, I'm still on the short version of everything, so I'll just kind of summarize. Then you can use these filtered decks in combo with the auto advance feature, and you can selectively go through like cards that you know pretty well at a faster than normal rate. And the inevitable problem that happens is that you're going pretty fast, and then all of a sudden, like, the card auto flips when you really didn't say the answer in your head. So what do you do there? Well, I kind of am suggesting that maybe you just, instead of using Anki's awesome active recall elements along with the spaced repetition, in that situation, maybe just use the repetition or the spaced repetition so that you, like, kind of, if you feel like you know the info pretty well, then just let the auto advance keep going, even if you didn't, like, answer it in your mind. That's optimal, but hey. But if you feel like, boy, I really couldn't answer that on a test question, then you can hit again. And the auto advance feature will keep going, but you'll see that card again and it'll keep going in the rotation. So those are some thoughts that I had for kind of catching up on cards that might help you go faster. So you can stop watching now if you want, but I'll kind of go on some more explanation of exactly how to do this. So this is how you create a permanent deck or a filtered deck. So let's go to, you have to be in the Browse tab, and then you go to Edit and Create Filtered Deck based on this search. Now, I didn't have a search in the Browse window. It would have pulled it up here. But let's say prop, you kind of just memorize these formulas. Prop interval greater than 21, so older cards. And let's go prop do less than 1, which is kind of a nice formula that I use for finding do cards. And then we want all the cards we can in this deck, so let's just put like 5,000. So we don't want to limit. And let's actually make our answers count. So we'll hit build, and it'll pull cards into there. And the reason only 14 showed up is because most of them are in this deck already. So I'll empty this deck, and rebuild this one. There we go. So most of those cards now went into this, and you can just name it maybe your options, so you remember like what is actually in this deck. And I just put, hey, I actually want to reschedule cards based off my answers, so I'll put like count in there in all caps so that I know that, hey, my answers are actually counting. Okay, so that's something that you can do. And you can have these always set up, and if you want to mix them in with all your other cards, you can have this big header deck called All that I kind of created, and everything will be mixed, or you can have these separate. So let's move everything back into the All deck. So we have like 4,000 cards in here now, but if we want to just temporarily pull those out and study like the ones that we really want to get done, then we hit rebuild. So yeah, because the efficiency with Anki really comes with not having to relearn stuff, you know? So if you can really preferentially review the newer cards that are like less than 21 days in their interval, then great. So I think having these set up filtered decks could really help you if you're struggling with what to study and prioritize before a test or something. So, okay. So that's how to do that. let's also go over how to use the auto advance feature. So I have these younger ones here that I want to count, but let's say I want to review the older ones, but at a faster than normal pace. And I kind of want to throw out of the window using spaced repetition, or the active recall so much. I want to just use the spaced repetition. So let's build this deck. And let's go a little bit faster than we normally would. And on the ones that we didn't get, we'll just do some gray zone calculation and try our best. So, stage of Lyme disease. So, I think it's the second stage. Yes. So it'll just auto advance. I'm not going to touch anything. Origin of the words hornswoggle. It's from when bulls used to wrangle off a cowboy's rope. Okay. So this card I didn't have in the right options for auto advance. So this is an Anki 1 day. I have a bunch of different option settings. So, you know, I'm just going to hit the space bar myself for this one. Or stats is a substitute of bread. So now it's going through all the cards that don't apply to my Anki auto advance feature settings. But let's go to here. And this should be a better, let's see, with endocrine disorder, hypothyroidism. Okay, I could probably get that on a test. But see, I didn't really know that. I wasn't able to say hypothyroidism in my head before that. So I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go, man. Like, I could probably recognize that on a test. I just couldn't recall it. So let's keep going. Okay, so this is VT, Paco, Pico, Paco. Yep, so I knew that. What effect do class 1 be? So, shorten. Yeah, I'm just going to keep going. No hands. I'm not using anything here. I'm just auto-advancing. Manx disease and, yeah, I knew that. I couldn't get the Ehlers-Danlos out in time in my head, but I could have probably got that on a test question, so I'm just going to keep going. Arcuate. There we go. All right. AVR. So I got that a little bit quicker than the auto advance would do, so I'll hit spacebar and get it a little bit quicker. Digoxin. There we go. What is likely cause? That is oh, what is that? Mitral valve prolapse. There we go. All right. Cytosine deaminase. There we go. Okay, so this just kind of keeps you going, and on the ones that you really have to think about, just let them go. If you're short on time, again, if you want to turn off the auto advance and just think about the questions, then go ahead. But I've been doing that for medical school so far, and I'm about halfway done, and it's been working good. But I'm 4,000 cards behind right now, and I have about 16,000 cards total that are in my rotation. So yeah, I mean, having a fourth of your cards on backlog, I don't like that so much, because then you get some inefficiencies going on, because cards that you should be looking at, you're having to use the ReMemorize add-on to postpone and put into the future. So yeah, this might be a good way. And who knows? I kind of wrote in my show notes too, which are in the description if you want to access all this. Like maybe this auto advance thing will be like speed reading training, and so when you do speed reading training, the program forces you to go super fast, and you're looking at the words faster than you're comfortable with. But after you're done, you pick up a regular book and you're going really fast. So that speed kind of transfers. So hopefully this method of will transfer and increase your speed a little bit with normal cards in the normal method of always actively recalling every card. So yeah, and I kind of wrote down 2 situations here where you could use this. So let's say it's 7 p.m. and you have 400 cards due for the day. You can selectively just say, hey, I have an hour left. I really would like to get through these cards. So let's do some math and figure out how many seconds per card I need in the auto advance feature. Set those options to that, and then you'll probably get through all the cards that you need to before the day's over. And if you just kind of do the recognition versus recall method, then you'll be able to get through those. Another situation is where you have like a ton of cards and you just want some increased familiarity with them. So you just kind of want to read through all the answers. That could totally work with my system, because you could just create a deck that doesn't count. So it would be these ones, the no count ones, where you, in the options, unclick this box. And this will hopefully help you get through reviews in a faster manner when you actually look at them another time and actually do them for counting. So let me empty these, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so let's no count in older ones. So let's rebuild this deck. Okay, these are all my older ones that are due. So we're going to just increase some familiarity with these cards, and I'm just going to start hitting the return bar really fast. And I'm just reading these. Now these are all vocab ones. These aren't medical school ones, but the same applies. Okay, so now I have a good idea of what those cards are. That could be another way to kind of increase your familiarity with cards and hopefully help speed up the real reviews that you do. So, thank you. Sorry this video is a little bit long, but I appreciate it, and hopefully you learned some things. And Anki has been the best thing that's happened for my medical school studying so far. So hopefully you can transfer this to non-medical school stuff, to medical school, whatever you need to use. The combo of active recall and spaced repetition is awesome. But if you're behind on things, hey, just throw out the active recall, I'd say, and maybe do the spaced repetition. But if that doesn't work for you, that's fine too. So, thank you. And the reason I make these videos is just as kind of a fun self-expression kind of thing. So hopefully it helps. Have a wonderful Easter, and thanks.